Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we had the first round of the playoffs, and unfortunately we lost in 7 games, and it's kind of getting to that period where our team is going to probably start losing players on our roster, which is very unfortunate. We've either had like a really bad string of luck, or our team in general isn't actually as good as they look on paper, but I'm hoping for another good season up ahead. Hopefully we actually could kind of be more of an average team in the regular season and kind of turn it on in the playoffs, because it seems like right now we're a good regular season team, but once it comes to the playoffs, our team just can't get like to round 2, round 3, and beyond that. So hopefully we can kind of maintain this roster as much as possible going into next season, so we have a better chance at potentially winning a Stanley Cup. But anyways, let's get into your guys' comments before we get into the draft and off-season, which is a very important off-season for this team. So the first one is from Michael Dost, who says 11 seconds and 2 seconds. What the heck did they do to win? What the heck did they do? Win face-off and smack it into the net right away from the outside blue line? Seems like the goalie was asleep. And yeah, that game was kind of crazy. It was game 4, was it? Yeah, it was game 4, because we were potentially going down 3-1 in the series. We were trailing 3-0 going into the third period. We scored an early goal in the third. And then there was 2 goals in the final 11 seconds of the third period. We tied it up, and then we won in overtime. That was the most insane game I think I've ever seen in a sim engine. But unfortunately, we didn't go on to win the playoff series. If we went on to win the series in 7 games, that could have been a very big TSN turning point to potentially win us a Stanley Cup, but unfortunately we are knocked out still in the round 1. Next comment is from Logan May, who says you need a couple puck-moving defensemen badly, no mobility on that back end, and I totally agree with that as well. I think we need to find ourselves a good defenseman that could move the puck a bit, because we were hoping that Boys would have been that guy when we drafted him, but he really hasn't developed well. As you can see, his potential actually dropped to medium top 4. He's still solid, but he's not the best puck mover. And then we have a couple of DFDs. Rizzy, I think, is DFD as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he is. Dimitra's DFD. Like, we don't have a lot of two-ways in offense and defenseman. I think most of our defenders are actually defensive. So if we could get an offensive defenseman that's better than Paul Mayer, I think that could help us out quite a bit with the offense from the back end. And maybe that's exactly what we kind of need, especially in the playoffs. Next comment is from Souls, who says Mauricio Wilm, an all-time playoff ghost. Almost time away to move away from Sonnenberg. Time to give Norton the reins. And yeah, Sonnenberg hasn't been a great playoff goaltender for us so far. He is still signed for a few more years, which is kind of unfortunate, but hopefully he could kind of find his game a little bit. But if he doesn't, Norton could easily take over that spot. And then we also do have a lot of goalie prospects still at the moment. A couple medium elite ones like Solis, who might get to the NHL soon, Burkov, who might, and also Misselli. So at least we do have a good amount of goalie prospects that hopefully one of them could actually work in the playoffs. And then the last and final comment is from Ian.Nolove, who says, man, what a roller coaster of emotions I've just lived through. I swear this 4th game of the playoffs, 4-3 OT comeback in Montreal, made me happy, but in the end left me heartbroken. Let me do a press conference here real quick. 1. Mr. Coach, are there any true unsigned star prospects the team could rely on in the near future? Number 2, isn't it time for Nikitin, Marquard, McGinn, and Brunette? Cap hit wise and potential wise seems like there is a near need of a clear house. 3, can we make good picks until round 4 or 5 in this draft? What position are we looking at in this spot? 4, can we hold Stajan on a bridge deal and FBZ at a qualifying offer? 5, what coaches did we lose to retirement? Really looking forward to the coaches' answers. At this point, this team is the Sailors, not the Raiders, damn it. LOL. Anyway, this is the best draft category series on YouTube. Love. I appreciate that, Ian, and let's go through each individual part of what you were mentioning. So, is there any true unsigned prospects this team could rely on? Well, we do have Mangone, who is a low top 4, jumped up to a 73. I didn't even realize he's another DFD though, so he's not a puck moving defenseman like we kind of need. We do have Habscheid and Richter, who are both unsigned low elites. So these kind of guys could help out with the offensive load a little bit. Ricardo Richter is actually a power forward, which I don't think we have a lot of. So he will get time in the AHL this year, which is exciting. So hopefully he develops into being something huge. For other unsigned guys, there's Fragapane, who we drafted in the first round, who's a 69 and 19. He might not end up being that bad. But we do have a couple good prospects. There's also White, but he's 21 already. So we do have a couple potential guys that might work. Burkov as well. And then I guess Maselli, even though Maselli is definitely a bit of a long shot at this rate. Number 2, he was saying about Nikitin, Mark Gordon, Brunette, and all those older AHL guys. Yeah, I definitely agree. A lot of those guys are going to be leaving the AHL club just because they're like 26 years old at this point, UFAs. So we might as well replace them with younger guys like Richter, for example, for the AHL. Number 3 says, can we make good picks till round 4 and 5? What positions are we looking for at this spot? I think we'll probably end up looking for mainly like defensemen, like especially puck movers, but honestly it depends what's good at that stage. Hopefully we can find some good late round steals, because obviously we kind of just need to keep on building up that prospect pool, because once we start losing a lot of players, our team needs those replacements basically. Number 4, he says, can we hold on staging on a bridge deal and FPZ at a qualifying? I don't know at the moment, but obviously we'll definitely take a look at that when we get to the re-sign stage. But like Stajan, for example, at the moment wants like 12 million bucks, which is more than Wilm is getting paid. But if we are the qualifier RFAs and able to afford Stajan, that would be great. The only thing is we also have like Flood, Mason, who are UFAs. Mayer's a UFA. But we might be able to hold on to Stajan depending on how much cap space we have left. And 5, what coaches did we lose due to retirement? Let me take a look at that. Let me get my face back on screen. Let's take a look at what coaches we lost, because we did lose, I think it was 2 coaches, right? I just wanted to double check. We are going to have to replace them in this episode as well. So which coaches did we lose? We lost our NHL assistant coach. So I will have to write that down so I remember. So we need an assistant in the NHL. And we also lost our NHL goalie coach. Okay, so that was what we lost. So goalie coach and assistant coach. So we need those in this offseason. Kind of sucks that we lost a coach already, but it is what it is. So there is that. Let's get into this draft and see what happens. At this rate, I'm not even really sure what we're going to be able to grab. There was a guy that was 20 years old supposed to go in the first round, so he might be a medium elite, because I'm usually don't see medium top 4s that are 20 years old going in round 1. But he could be a medium top 4 as well, which wouldn't be great. Let me go back to that guy again, because it wouldn't be that bad to grab him. I think he was supposed to go late first round or early second. Let me just check pinned players. I think, yeah, it was Hartnell. Let's see. 20 years old. Yeah, he's 20 years old and 3 years out. He's 3-bar scouted at medium elite. I think I got to take a chance on him, even if he's a 2-way defenseman. At least he gives us another 2-way and not a defensive defenseman. So I think I likely take this guy. But there is like low elites also on the board that go earlier. Maybe we actually lean towards the forward, the low elite forward instead. But I think we need defensemen more than forwards almost. Yeah, I honestly don't know what we're going to take with our pick. I guess it depends on what the AI takes ahead of our pick. But let's see this top 5 of this year's draft and see who ends up getting what. So Seattle at 1 takes the franchise guy, Mr. Landon, is it? Yeah, Landon McGrath. It looks really good. Good passing categories, great shooting categories as a playmaker as well. Like, he has definitely like no weakness other than his fighting skill, which obviously he doesn't need the fight considering he's a playmaker, but that's a really nice one. He can also play both wings, which is pretty good for the Kraken, so you can kind of use him in both situations. Number 2, Anaheim is going to take Dillman. Graham Dillman. Interesting. Okay, so he's a DFD. Makes me think of Dillman, I think it was from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. San Jose at 3 takes Owens, who's another DFD. So a couple of DFDs in this draft. So I guess it's kind of good that we're not drafting super high up, because I don't want to get stuck with more DFDs at this point. Dmitriev going to Washington. He's a 2-way forward, 77 overall. So a little bit of a weaker draft class after the franchise player, but still some solid talent that will develop. And then Yulkinen goes to Tampa, who's another DFD. So a very defensive heavy draft, it seems like. Okay, let's send to our pick at 28 and see what we could grab. There was some top 6 demon going before his pick, so this draft class might not be that good on paper again. Hopefully next year's draft is better, because obviously we kind of need to find ourselves a puck-moving defenseman. I feel like this guy, even though he might be an OFD, he might be just a top 6 defender, which is not what we want. So I think I'm going to go for the overager or the low elite here. There's also Ivanov, who could be low elite, but he also could be just top 6. I'm thinking about taking a defenseman at this stage. But Robida definitely looks a little bit better, but do we really need another forward? He's a two-way forward, which is nice. Would be good for that 4th line, but I think we need more defensive help than anything. This guy being 20 years old kind of has me intrigued a bit. He's got offensive instincts, defensive zone play, good passing ability, which would help out with setting up our team a little bit. Yeah, let's take a chance on this guy. Why not? Why not? Hey, he was medium elite. I thought he would be because of being 20 years old. So there is a nice pickup, I think. 64 overall is a little bit low, obviously, for 20 years old. But if he gets 1 year of like crazy good growth, this guy could be very, very solid. I could honestly play him in the NHL on the top 6 pairing already if I really want to. But I don't really know if that would be a good idea. I could play him in the AHL right away. That's something I'll probably end up doing since he's already 20. Okay, that's not bad. Even though that low lead's probably really solid too. Let's take a look at what that low lead's looking like. He's probably like a 65, my guess. Where is the low lead? He probably doesn't go to round 2, I guess. I didn't see who went at the end of the first round, because it would be nice to know what we could have had. So let's keep going through these picks here and see what that low lead was looking like. He's probably 63, 64, something around that. I'm surprised he hasn't gone yet. There's just a bunch of top 9s going at the moment. Oh, there. Wait. Was it that guy that was the low lead? No, this was the guy that was supposed to go after him. He's a top 6. And he is a 64. The low lead should be soon. There's a lot of good top 6 forwards. There he is. 65 overall for Robida. We could have had this, but I decided to elect to the defenseman instead. Which might be kind of a stupid choice in a way, because technically he's a 65 at 18 while our guy's 64 at 20. But we need defensive help, so I think that's probably the right move for our team, as weird as it seems. Let's see what else we could get here with our picks. Ooh, there's a guaranteed medium top 6. We probably should just go for this guy. But this guy's listed as a gem as a low 6, which isn't ideal. Yeah, I think we'll go for the medium 6, even though he's 19 years old. He looks pretty good. He might get a contract right out of the gate if he's a high enough overall. So Charles Raymond from the United States could play both wings too. 65 overall, that's pretty good. That's a way better second pick round pick than I thought I would get at that stage. So that's pretty nice. He honestly could play in the AHL next year with some new players down there. So that's really solid. Let's zoom to our next pick and see if we could actually get any steals in these later rounds, like Ian was mentioning. There's a guaranteed medium 9. Doesn't really look that good on paper though, 5 years out. There's a guaranteed medium top 6 again in Dodge, 4 years out at 20. Which isn't ideal that he's already 20, but we might as well take a chances with some of these overagers. So Dodge, welcome aboard. 61 overall at 20, not terrible. But obviously I don't know if he's going to develop into being great for us, but maybe he becomes a good AHLer. And maybe eventually he could get into like a 4th line role at best. Let's see if we could get some good defensemen here at this stage. Is there any low lead still pinned? There's Budin's the medium elite goalie. Even though we have a lot of goalie prospects, I might as well just add another. So there's Budin's 47 overall medium elite. At least we got more goalies into our system. Not that we really need them, but I just still want to make sure we find ourselves that one good goalie for the playoffs at least. Because who knows who will win us the Stanley Cup. It could be a random fringe starter goaltender at this rate. The rest of his draft isn't looking too good. This guy could be low elite, but I really doubt it. He is guaranteed to be 4 years out. He is 19 as well. Now let's take a chance with Turnbull here. Why not? Low top 6D. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. I don't even know if that guy's going to ever get a contract, but maybe he gets some good development. And we got 2 more picks left in this draft. There's another goaltender. Don't really need it. Is there any guys that could be elite? Wait, what's this guy's first name? Oh, Demetrius. I thought it was going to be like a Davis. That would have been kind of funny. Yeah, this draft class is definitely not that good anymore. These guys might be medium elite, some of them. This guy had no weakness, this Petrolainen guy. He is 19. Let's take a chance on him. Low bottom 6. Oof. Yep, we're running into a stage where this draft class is not good, but it is what it is. Let's try and find ourselves a random steal based on like how good players' attributes are looking like, if we actually even have anything on them. Connor Walchuk, he is 19 though. We've drafted a lot of overagers in this draft. Is there any good young guys maybe? Sim. Marshall Sim. Weakness and character though. And let's take a chance with him even. And he's a low bottom 6 as well. So not entirely the best draft, but not the worst draft either. We do get ourselves a medium elite defenseman in Hartnell, who is a little bit older. Dodge and Raymond are solid prospects, especially Raymond. Dodge, on the other hand, being a little bit older. Not the best pick, but he could end up being something still. Boone's being a medium elite is nice. And then the other 3 picks are all misses, I'd say. But I'd say it's an okay draft, all things considered, where we are picking. Okay, now we got to get into this re-sign stage. How much money are we going to have to spend on our players? Are we going to have enough money to bring back Stajan, or is he headed to the free agent market? I really hope we could bring him back, but at the same time, I did write down like projected lines for next season, and it's not as big of a blow as you guys would think, just based on the fact that we have a couple depth guys that will jump in to our lineup next season, so it's not as bad on paper. But I still would love to hold on to him if we can for like a bridge deal like Ian was mentioning. Okay, re-sign stage. Let's see what we got here. We have only 22 million in cap space. Oh no, that's not a lot of money. The only way we could get Stajan for 12 million is if we buy out somebody on our roster, which I don't know if it's ideal to do that. Like, I could buy out like a goaltender or something like that, but oh my god. Okay, I don't want to get to the big guys yet. Let's qualify all of our RFAs, because obviously... Wait, what are they asking for right now? 6.8. Yeah, we're going to qualify all our RFAs at the moment. And just because we... Actually, wait a sec. Do I have all the money to qualify all our RFAs? I think I do. Yeah, that's 10 million just on these 2 in qualifying offers. These other guys want 2-way deals, so we will sign them to 2-way deals if they want it. But we are definitely going to have to start cleaning house a little bit on the AHL. It was Brunette, I think, and stuff that have to go, right? What was it that Ian said? Yeah, Brunette, McGinn, Marquardt, and Nikitin. So, yeah, Brunette isn't going to get a qualifying offer. He's gone. Kolyakovo is same boat, actually, for that matter. Pecker will get an AHL contract again. Then we got Nornan to qualify. Actually, he doesn't really want a whole lot as a backup. You know what? I'm going to give him his one-way deal at $850. I'm going to give him that. And then Gove wants a one-way deal. He's going to get qualified as well. So there is that. That's all dealt with. Let's go to the bottom of the UFAs. Let's let go of Marquardt and McGinn, since they're a little bit too old at this stage. We're also going to let go of Rantford. He's a little bit older. We'll get, obviously, Richter signed up to his ELC. We'll get Bouzaz signed as well. We'll get Mangone signed up. And then I think some of these other prospects won't even get an ELC. Yeah, we're not going to sign Lamoureux and Petterstrom. They just aren't good enough. Jankomovs as well. I could sign them at any point down the road if they develop, but right now we're not going to hold on to them. But the rest of these UFAs, oh boy. I am not liking our money situation. Wanting a two-way deal is fine with me. I think he's more of a captain down there, so I want to hold on to him. Wilson is kind of like a depth defenseman for us at the moment. Him and McLaren, I might have to choose between one of them. I would like to hold on to the Sheriff. He wants a two-way deal. He's dropping off a lot. He could retire by the time he's 33. But, yeah, let's give the Sheriff a two-way deal if he wants it. Sure, why not? Why not? McLaren and Wilson, though. I gotta choose between one of them, I think. Or both of them, actually, because I could let go of Mayer. I definitely gotta hold on to Mason and Felipe Flood. Mason on 1.2 is good for me. Flood, 3 years at 2 point something isn't terrible, but he's a top 6 defenseman. He would be replacing Mayer for sure. Mayer's wanting more money. So, you know what? We're going to give Flood the 3-year deal. But I'm going to see if I can get him for like 2.5. Because he would basically be replacing Paul Mayer. If he accepts that, Paul Mayer's gone, basically, is what happens. And we probably will try and sign McLaren and Wilson as depth defensemen still. Just so we have those in case of injury problems. We are going to let go of both these goaltenders. Couturier is not going to get his ELC. And Nikitin is going to be gone. He was probably one of our best early on goalies, but obviously he doesn't need to play here anymore. He's probably wanting a one-way deal as well. Yeah, we have too much goalies. So Nikitin, thank you for your time here. Best of luck in free agency. Hopefully he gets a minor league contract somewhere. And then, yeah, Stajan, what is he wanting now? He still wants the 12 million. Okay. Let me advance today and see if we get all the people we offered contracts to, though. Because I need to know kind of how much money I have, though, if I want to bring back Stajan. Okay, so we did get a rejection from Felipe Flood. Let's just give him the 3 years at what he's asking for. And let's get Mason on the 1-year deal. Give him a little bit more than what he's asking for. And I think... Let me double check everybody else. Audette was still there. He's going to just get a 2-way deal. We might have enough cap space to bring back Stajan on a 1 or 2-year deal. I'll probably give him a 1-year deal just because, but... Well, let me double check on that first. Okay, so we got those guys in. Felipe Flood still rejected. Come on, Felipe. Just give me a 3-year deal just to hold on to you as a top 6 defenseman. Likely Mayer is gone because of this. There you go. Felipe Flood's accepted. Okay, so we only have a few more days left to re-sign people. Basically, on these two guys, their qualifying offers were like a combined just over 10 million, which leaves us with only 11 million, which means I think Stajan can't come back unless those guys drop their asking price. Fuck. I am going to let go of Paul Mayer for sure. What is these guys wanting? Please 2-way? Nope. You don't want a 2-way. What about you? Nope, don't want a 2-way. I'm going to let go of McLaren and Wilson for now and see if they drop their asking price, just because I feel like I want to still sign Stajan if I can. Stajan could drop his asking price potentially in free agency as well. So there is a chance we might take these negotiations to the off-season portion. Because these guys take, I think, around 10 million. And then Gove would be a 2-way contract likely. Let me see, 6.8. And, oh, Rizzy wants like a lot, but he's only going to get 4 million. I don't know if there's a way I could afford Stajan for a year. If I do this, we might have to have one of these guys hold out as a qualifying guy for the entire year, which ideally is not a good scenario. I was writing down our roster projected for next season right now without Stajan. Right now I have Weber, Ahin, and Wilm. Lassick, Lehman, Del Rovere, Haken, who would jump up with Pierre Zabottle and Sergeyev, and a 4th line of Hamel, Leinen, Weber, or not Weber, the other dude. Oh, yeah, is it Weber? No, it's the 4th line center guy. What's the 4th line center's guy name? I wrote down the wrong name. Mason. And Mathieu. And then we'd have Sherov as depth. I think I still might have to let go of Stajan and see if he drops his asking price. I know it's a bad thing to do, but I want to see if he drops his asking price a little bit. If he drops it down to 9 million, 8 million, we might be able to afford him. I don't know if a team gives him 12 million bucks on the open market. So I think all 3 of these guys for now are going to go. We are going to let them all walk, but we are going to check over the course of a few days to see if they drop their asking price at all. I think McLaren and Wilson, we should be able to get them both back. Closer to the end of free agency. Stajan should be going on early on, so yeah, we're gonna let these 3 guys go for now, which is tough. Is this the end of Stajan with Halifax? I really hope it's not. I really hope it's not, and hopefully those RFAs aren't the problem with this team. A lot of morale changes because of we losing Stajan. Okay, let's see if Stajan's changed his asking price already. Day 1 of free agency. He has 3 teams interested in him, which is not good. Means our negotiations, yeah, he wants more money for 1-year deals now. Yeah, I think Stajan's likely gone, which really sucks, but at the same time, I think it's a good move. Like, yes, it's going to hurt us offensively, but Weber should be able to do really well on that top line, considering he was great on the second line last year. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going after Stajan. I don't think I'm going after Stajan. We're the only team interested in Pierce the Ball, right? Yeah. And what about our defenders, our 77 overall guys? I think those guys will take longer to sign in free agency. They won't sign within the first few days. Let's see. Wilson. No team's interested. Still not trying to get a lot. Hey, he's only wanting $850 for a year. Let's get Wilson back. Let's get Wilson back already. And what is the other guy's name again? It was McLaren. Where is our McLaren? Oh, there he is. Is he wanting not a lot for 1 year as well? No, he still wants $12.75, and we'll still give him $12.75 since we have the cap space, because we probably aren't bringing back Stajan at this rate. Okay, the next thing we need to do is coaching staff. A lot of stuff to do this offseason. We need to bring in an assistant coach and a goalie coach. So let's go ahead and do that while there's good coaches out there. See if we can find somebody good for us that's good teaching and all that. Let's see, 67, that's pretty damn good. Anything higher than 67? Not really. Okay, so, which coach do we want? These guys are all pretty old. This guy's the youngest of the bunch. Maybe I want to go with him instead. He's only a 54, though. Yeah, never mind. Oh, this guy was our old head coach. Or do I go with Ricky? I wish there was a way to sort by team fit. That'd be nice. Let's see. 66 on Dubinsky. Maybe I go for Dubinsky instead, because he's actually an associate. More in his role. What's his teaching grades and stuff like? Teaching's not good. Let's go for the top coach. Why not? I don't know if he would want a job as an assistant coach, but we need coach. We need a coach. Let's just give him exactly what he's trying to get as a head coaching job, maybe. Maybe not. Let's give him a little bit more, because he's going to be out of his role. He could honestly be a head coach too if he works better for our team. So we'll leave that for now. Actually, we do need a goalie coach too, so let's find ourselves somebody that works good with them goalies and has good teaching grades, because obviously goalie coaches are more important than I thought they were back a few years ago, but they're very important for growth. Let's see, there's an A. There's an A as well. It's only 47. We'll sign this guy. Yeah, we'll sign this guy as our NHL goalie coach. And he should accept that, and then we'll have our full coaching staff. Likely, unless that other coach rejects, which he honestly could, because maybe he wants a head coaching job somewhere else. Doesn't want to join our coaching staff. Okay, so coaches are good. I could look at upgrading our scouts again still, but I don't think I'm going to do that right now. Let me advance the date, see if we get the coaches. So we do get our goalie coach, which is nice. That's an important piece, but obviously the other coach is the most important one. And he does not want to join this job title, but I will try and offer him more money. Since we have a lot of... there's no budget with the coaches. Might as well try and get him again. So, McLeod, please be my assistant coach. I'll give you a buttload of money. What's the most I could offer him? What's the most I could offer him? Probably a lot. Let's just go over $8 million. That should get it done. And like I said, he could honestly become our head coach if he's better than Tarnasky, which I'll look at when we get to editing our lines. But yeah, likely Stajan is going to be signing somewhere else here shortly, which is not ideal. Wilson accepts and McLaren has accepted, so we get our depth defenders back, which is nice. And there's Ricky McLeod. He has accepted a lot of money, which means our coaching staff is good. Is Stajan still in free agency? Let's see. Oh, I think he signed somewhere. Yeah, it looks like he did. Stajan is gone. Stajan is gone. That really hurts. But at the same time, I think it was important because we do need that money for future players and all that. And I think our left wing side is still good because of the fact we have Weber. If we didn't have Weber, I probably would have done anything in my power to bring back Stajan. But like if we look at our forward group right now, without Stajan, like we sort by overall, we still have a legit great top 6. Bottom 6 a little bit on the weaker side of things. We actually do still have guys holding out too. Yeah, so we are actually pretty well built up still, even without Stajan. Yeah, we might be still a really good team. We might be still a really good team, or more average, which might be good for the playoff run. But let's take a look at where Stajan signed, because I am curious on that. Really sucks that we had to let him go, but it makes sense for this team to do at this stage, I think. Where did he sign? Oh, signed 7-year deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay, so if you ever have to play Tampa in the playoffs, we're playing Stajan, which is kind of scary because Tampa's in our division. So let's begin a sim up to next season and see if our RFAs accept. They probably should soon. There was a trade with Tampa involved. Okay. Don't really care about those trades. There's Pirzabal accepting the qualifying offer. Good to be back for him. And Rizzy has been... Oh, no, Rizzy hasn't. Gove has been qualified by the Avs. There's no compensation, so we will just match this because it's $890K. It's not like it's $20 million. And Rizzy has also accepted the qualifying offer. So pretty much our team is the exact same except for there's no Stajan, which, like I said, really sucks. That guy was one of the heart and soul players of this team for a long time. But now he goes on to have a chance maybe to win a Stanley Cup with Tampa if Halifax can get it done. So I think we're going to still have a pretty good looking roster here. But let's go to roster moves first and see if there's anybody that needs to be called up. Let's see. We got our goaltenders for sure. Gove and Solis are both roles are backups. Wow, they're developing faster than I thought. If we lose Norden in the offseason somehow, one of them could be backup to Sonnenberg. Sonnenberg is still here for 2 more seasons. But Gove and Solis both ready to jump to the NHL. So we could call one up for the playoffs if we run into goalie problems. Booze is a 78, listed as a top 6 defenseman. That's actually really nice. But I don't want to use him as a depth defenseman. So 3-6 with Flood. There's a good chance that he won't jump into our defensive core until this upcoming offseason because I think Dimitra ends soon. Dimitra's got 1 more year. What about boys? 3 more years. Is there anybody pending free agent soon? Not really. Only Rizzy, actually. Yeah, if we lose Rizzy to UFA status this offseason, we do got Booze to jump up, so at least that's good. What else do we got here? Anybody else that could come up? Watton's on NHL, really? Nope. And Sharov in the minors, I don't want that. Sharov will be a depth forward this year, which might sound a little bit weird, but he's going to be scratched this year because he's more of a depth forward at this rate, and we got to play him in his role. I could play him in the AHL right now, but I don't want to do that. Okay, let's adjust our lines now. So I want Weber on the top line with Willman Ahinen. I want Lehman down the middle, I think, with Del Rivera and Lassick. And then Pirzabal down the middle is Sergeyev and Hamalainen, or Haken actually, maybe even. Playmaker, 2-way forward. Doesn't really make any difference. Let's keep it the way it is right now. That actually looks pretty good on paper, considering we just lost one of our best players. Our team still looks pretty good. Defensively, still not liking the chemistry really with some of these defenders. Okay, that works a little bit better. But I don't like Felipe Flood being so high up, but we might have to do it, to be honest. Yeah, it's still a good looking team on paper. We have Sharov as our depth forward, and we have 2 depth defensemen. And then power play wise, I might rework this to what we had last year, but I don't remember what we had set up last year. But if you guys have any suggestions for the power play lines, let me know. Because maybe you guys have some better suggestions than I had last year, even though it was really good. But looks pretty good on paper, not too bad in terms of the chemistry, which is nice. I will take a look at the other coach. Actually, maybe I can't because I can't fire. I don't want to fire a goalie coach, so I guess we'll just run with this as our coaching staff. But I think we have a good-looking team on paper still. And I'm hoping for a big breakout year for one Joel Weber. Because if Joel Weber could do anything close to what Stajan did on this top line, it'll do really well. And then the second line should do well. Lasic's getting a big opportunity now, also with Stajan gone, which is nice. And then who knows how good Hämäläinen is going to be. Former 6th overall pick, great offensive awareness and great passing. And then we also have Haken, who has good defensive stats and good passing. So, if worse comes to worse, I could always try Hämäläinen as a top liner. Just because he's got that good offensive awareness passing, he might be good to set up Wilm. So, yeah, I'm liking the looks of this team. I'm liking the looks of it. I am curious, one last thing before we end this episode. How much is Stajan getting paid in Tampa? And would I have had the money to afford him? Let's see. No, I wouldn't have. He is getting paid $12.645 million in cap space. Or not cap space, but yeah, technically cap space, I guess. But he's getting paid $12.6 million. We only have how much money in cap space? $11.435. So, unfortunately, we had to let him go, but that's what happens if we want to hold on to our younger RFA guys. And it just capitalizes on that. Who's a pending free agent this upcoming offseason? Layman. See, letting go of Stajan also gives us the chance to re-sign Layman this offseason, but is he worth re-signing? I don't know. There's a lot of big name contracts again this upcoming offseason, which is very, very scary. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll simulate another regular season. This team should make it back to the playoffs, but for the question is, are we going to make it past the first round? Can we win a Stanley Cup without our best player in Stajan? Well, not really best player, but one of our best players in Stajan. Or will Tampa win the Stanley Cup with Stajan added to the roster? So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.